Pool versus everybody. What's up, motherfuckers? Been a while. I've kept quiet on some things, but today I'm going to let loose and really address some things. I'm gonna just start off with Manè because it's the thing that's fresh in my mind and it's something that a lot of people have different opinions about, and it's something that's still being spoken about. So I don't know if you tuned into Have Hopes Sunday chat, but I left a bit there, and I know that right away Liverpool fans, by and large, what's up, Mercy, are very biased. So when it comes to talking about the best center backs in the world, most of us are going to say Van Dijk. You know, when it comes to things with Manè and Salah, we're usually going to go with them. What's up, Manè? But for me, what Manè did, um, how he reacted to what happened in Senegal, I think is something that shouldn't happen again. I think he's got to suck it up. He's a professional football player. There's a nation that's banking on him producing the goods. The thing about it is that they still won, and so it does make you wonder, um, you know, why they would boo him for missing a chance. At the same time, these are what fans do. You know, there's no fans that are more special than other fans. Fans are crazy. Fanatics is what the word fan comes from. Fanatics, idiots, crazy people. We get it. We know it. We see it all the time. So there's no difference in Senegal. Jason got us out here like Pookie. Oh man, come on. That makes me feel good. I appreciate it. But there's plenty of stuff to keep guys full on Liverpool news. And at the end of the day, I don't like to just come on here with bullshit. I like to come on here when it's really something to talk about. And once that's been talked about by a lot of other people, I kind of like to slide in and add my 2 cents. But you know, he's got to suck that up and get over it. I'm sorry. You got to get over it. He had some similar reactions to him missing penalties for Senegal, which you can kind of understand. You know what I mean? He was the only player, I think, in that particular game that missed the penalty. So, you know, again, being Manè now, how he's kind of come on the world stage with Liverpool, with Senegal as well. I think a lot of Senegalese fans would probably say that they think that he doesn't really produce for country as much as he does for club. So, you know, who am I to disagree with that? That might be the case. He is their best attacker. I wouldn't say their best player, Senegal I'm talking about, but he is their best attacker, and a lot of people are depending on him. And there's not much more pressure that can be put on him than he puts on himself. So let's just get that squared away as well. So Manè just needs to be better. He needs to be better. He needs to be better. He needs to up his quality for country, I think. Mame says, I love Manè. I'm Senegalese, and I think he is talented. Probably the best in the world, but he shouldn't react like that. Well, it's good to hear a Senegalese person agreeing with that sentiment, Mame. Can't we bring it down? Yeah, he can. He showed a lot of weakness there, and if anything, if I'm a fan and I'm booing him or whatever, I'm going to do it again. If you're that weak, and I think a lot of times fans want to see how they can get to you, how you can be affected by what they do. And I get it, we're all human. You know, there's a bunch of different, I mean, a plethora of examples of fans doing things and players having different reactions. I think the most famous one for me, as far as America is concerned, is the Ron Artest situation. In Detroit, there was a fan who threw a cup on Ron Artest, and he went to the fans. It was probably the craziest thing I've seen as far as interaction with players and fans. I think that I can remember. That's probably the craziest. Just how much out of control that got. But anyway, back to football. Also, I got to talk about Manè as well. World peace, my man. Yeah. He's doing a lot of flopping too in games, and I'm very, very disappointed in that. He spends a great deal of time on the pitch, on the field, laying down his body on the field. And that's got to stop as well. I think I spoke about this before, but I just want to touch on it again. If Manè's going to be this amazing world-class player that we all see in him, he's got to change some things. He's got to change and put this crying thing to the side, because let's just hope that doesn't happen again. And I'm not questioning his ability or anything. I would never do that. I love Manè. But he's got to stop this flop thing. He's got to stop it. I'm sorry, because at some point, refs are not going to, I mean, his reputation is going to precede him. And refs are going to be like, look, this guy's a flopper. We got to, watch out for that. He's got to stop that. Because I think there's a lot of times if you keep working through these situations, you can get something. But if you stop play to fall down or whatever, a lot of times he's not really being fouled. Let's be honest. It just messes up the groove. So, want to see more from him. Proud of Manè of what he's accomplished and how far he's come from where he started to Southampton, the Premier League, to Liverpool, doing really great things for us. A lot of people are still. You're gonna start seeing a lot of Liverpool fans showing their true colors about Manè. And one thing I want to talk about is this podcast called the LFC Couch. This clown niche Australian guy had some guest on. I think his name was Pete, whatever. And this guy literally said that Manè is just an athlete. In other words, he's saying he's not cerebral at all. He's not a smart football player. He's just an athlete, which kind of coincides with what a lot of the English pundits say about black athletes. It's just pace and power. There's no mindset there. There's even with guys like, and I'm saying not all of them, but even with guys like N'Golo Kante, who clearly is a cerebral player. It's he's such a workman. He works so hard. He's like an animal. And this is something that will continue to happen. I know. And people don't want to talk about these things when I bring these issues up, whether it's blackface, whether it's Mo Salah chance or this. And I'm sure that the people who are watching will probably dwindle at some point. I don't give a damn. I'm going to talk about these things whenever they come up. LFC podcasting couch or something like that. Garbage podcast. And even time ago, this guy would say just ignorant things all day, and his response is everyone's entitled to opinion. Really? So it's not being ignorant. It's an opinion now. I got it. Let's see. We want to see. Some mommy says we want to see better Manè. Sometimes he just plays. Yeah, and I agree. Below expectations that don't stop him from scoring or making it. And that's the thing. Even with Liverpool, I think there's times where he goes. I wouldn't say quiet because I think he does a lot of ball work off the ball, defending, whether it be putting pressure on the other team, whatever the case may be. But there are times where, not that you forget he's on the pitch, but he'll just pop up with something. A goal here, an assist here, a crazy steal or whatever. And that's what you like about him, for sure. But yes, his levels definitely can be raised. But we can say that about a lot of players on the team. Firmino, one. But yes, he definitely needs to raise his play a bit more. Jason says he went through a period last season when he wasn't really performing, heard a lot of talk. He had a breakdown behind the scenes, possibly. Just for the Burnley game, yeah. And speaking of that, we got a lot of tough games coming up. But let me kind of round off the Manè thing. Altogether, I love Manè. I think he's an incredible player. Very, very important for us. And really, if there is anyone I'm thinking about in January, it's someone to maybe cover that left side, because right now we're just bare thin, as far as that's concerned. You think about the forward situations, the right attacking. There's a plethora of guys you can bring in. But even with the striker situation with Sturridge, we don't know what that's going to look like with the suspension on that. I'm not going to get deep into what's going on with that. But I think that's a lot to do about nothing, and hopefully that's the case. We've seen other people get punishment for this, and it's been pretty heavy, but a lot of these people have had kind of serial incidents with betting or numbers in the game and things of that nature. So, but that left side is really going to be hard. Knock on wood, if we get any kind of serious knock on Manè, it's going to be hard to find a player in the squad right now that can even replicate or do some of the similar things that he does. So, Jason, we got to talk about Fab. Hearing a lot of talk, no smoke with the fire, and I've been saying from the jump, yeah, you have been saying it, and I think a lot of people probably agree with you. I don't. I still stand by that, and I think it's ridiculous that people are even making conversation or videos about that. You notice I'm not talking about Fab in this video. I'm talking about it now because you brought it up, but I have nothing. I don't feed into anything about Fab and him leaving at this point in the state. I don't feed into anything about Manè not signing contracts. People overdo it with the panic. And this is Liverpool fans. Like, oh my God, Manè hasn't signed. He still has 2 more years. Last I checked, he's in his 3rd season. Relax. And at the end of the day, what can we do anyway? So I'm not gonna come onto this channel, guys. You can go to Anfield Agenda. You can go to Redman TV. There's so many out there if you want that bullshit. I'm not gonna do that here. I'm not gonna sit up here and talk 30, 45 minutes about nothingness. I'm just not gonna do that. So there's a lot of paper talk regarding Fab, not just the fan. There's a lot of paper talk about a lot of things. I don't feed into paper talk. I mean, again, I don't think we're gonna let Fab go after what, a few months. That just doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. But we'll see. I agree with that, Mame. I think people are just too worried about things for no reason. I don't see what the panic is about Fabinho. But it is what it is. Moving on to Lovren. Now I know a lot of you are happy to see Lovren thumping his chest and saying things like he's the best football player in the world, and then having Van Dijk come in and say how Ramos is not his type of defender and yada yada yada. Listen, I wish the Liverpool club players, managers, whatever, would just relax on this beef with Ramos, Madrid. So many of you guys are so sour and bitter still over a Champions League final that was, it feels like forever ago. Let that go. Let it go. Let it go. And Lovren keeps running his mouth, and every time he does it, then he has to recant. Comes on Instagram, talking big shit, opening your mouth, rapping on the mic as usual, and then you disable the comments on Instagram the next day. Don't go running now. Don't go running now. Don't go running now. Keep that same tone. Make sure your comments are available on Instagram because you brought this on yourself. You brought this on yourself. And then for you to come out and pretty much admit that you were trying to hurt Ramos. How is that smart? And this is what I keep telling you about Lovren. Yeah, sure, he's improved, I guess, or whatever. Lovren is a good defender, a decent defender at best. In my opinion, he's not great. He's not world class. But okay, let him believe that. Fine. But for you to come out and say that, so now the FA can look at that and say, oh wow, this just either they might even go to Croatia and say, look, you need to give your guys some discipline and maybe you can handle it in house, or they might come down on him and seriously give him a suspension. It's possible. But my point is, why would you open yourself up to that? I just don't get it. So this ongoing thing with Ramos really needs to stop. I don't see it stopping though, because there's always going to be someone else to add something else on that. Even Van Dijk saying he's not a Ramos guy. Ramos is a serial trophy getter. I'm gonna say it again. Ramos is a serious trophy getter. Serial trophy getter. So whether you like him or not, he's a winner. And whether you think he's a cheat or not, he's a winner. So at the end of the day, he cannot be your type of center back, but he's accomplished more than you in bigger games. So let's not get it. Everyone loves Van Dijk. Fine, good. I'm not going to get into a big thing about Van Dijk, although I am going to speak about him because I want to talk about some of our guys internationally. But relax with the stuff on Ramos, Real Madrid, and I'm done with Lovren. There's no hope for him anymore. He's going to continue to talk trash, and then when he falls on his face, he'll be nowhere to be found. That's just who he is. That's his MO. So I have no other hope for him improving and as far as that's concerned, because he's going to continue to be Lovren and run his damn mouth over and over and over again. Internationally, big shouts to Salah getting the goal. Genie has just been amazing for club and country. He's just been amazing, and so that's just really lovely to see. With Genie and just in such a small amount of time, just how he's really just improved. We all knew he was a good player, but he's taking it up a notch for me, especially for country, doing amazing there. So that's good to see. Also, Van Dijk, of course, getting the goal that they got them the point and saw them through the group against Germany, which I've said it before, I'll say it again. Germany is cursed from now on. What happened to Leroy Sané was a disgrace, and they're cursed forever. You could think I'm crazy or whatever. I don't care. They're on voodoo watch right now. They're on voodoo watch. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see little small dolls of Joachim Low tossed about across Germany or the world at large, wherever Germany fans reside. Because what happened and then you take him off. I don't want to talk about this guy. But shout out to that Orange squad, man. They got a lot of great talent and a lot of brothers. I know that's a coincidence, but they got a lot of brothers on that team. But anyway, they're hungry, and they're trying to put themselves back on the map. And to be honest, led by Virgil van Dijk, who we all know is a captain figure anyway. So what he's doing, what that team is doing, I think is really great. And so may it continue. Obviously, Trent getting the goal. Gomez playing really great for England. So we're doing well. Doesn't look like there's any serious injuries. Hopefully that stays. Because we got a tough run of games coming up. Pep and Klopp have been a blessing for the Premier League. They're having an effect on England's national team. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I guess you could say. I guess with City, what they got, Stones and Walker. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's possibly. I think Southgate. You got to just give him credit. I mean, he hasn't won anything, but clearly, I mean, you look at teams with guys like Gerrard and Beckham, and those guys couldn't do shit. So, Wayne Rooney. So, I mean, this team is definitely answering the bell. I need to see more from Kane. I'm sorry, I just have to. This whole talk of him becoming the best, English scorer or player of all time or whatever is ridiculous. I still think it's a bit overhyped. Oh yeah, Shaq as well. Shaq as well. So tough games coming up, guys. I know there's some people who think this is an easy run of fixtures, which is incredible to me. Starting with Watford, tough game. We all know about it. I don't need to talk about it. They've given us tough games. Um, like I said, you can off the top of your head, you can think of the most recent games we played with Watford and how things have gone. So that's not an easy game, and it's away. And then we followed up with another away match, PSG. I believe the Watford's away. Let me know if I'm wrong. But we got Everton in there, who are, say what you will, Liverpool fans, I get it. Everton are a good team this season. I'm not basing this on their last result against Chelsea. I'm basing this on the totality and with that manager. They've got some ball players on that team. So if we were frustrated with results last season when they were managed by the gravy champion himself, these are going to be some good matches, man. Against Everton this year, both matches are going to be good. Probably slugfests. So Bernard's a bit overrated, but he can pop up. Yeah, you're right. He can pop up from time to time. Richarlison, of course, but that's not even it. They got a lot of players from front to back that can do a job, and we've seen what their goalkeeper has done since England. I still think he's not as great as everybody keeps saying, but he can do a job. We need Naby ASAP, yes. Yeah, Bernard's a bit. Yeah, I'm sort of more in line with that thinking, Mercy. So, but tough fixtures, man. There's a Burnley in there who aren't what they were last season, but can still, hurt you in ways. Bournemouth, another team that, you can't sleep on. United's in there somewhere, and before you know, we'll be playing Arsenal again. So, some tough fixtures in there, and we have to continue to win. At the end of the day, we can be disappointed about individual performances in certain games or whatever, but we need to be happy. Um, happy. I'm satisfied that we're winning games. I don't really care how we're doing it. I don't really care how we're doing it, and we can only focus on what we're doing. I don't care about making up ground with goals. I care about winning games. And for all the talk about Klopp not having a different plan, a plan B or whatever, not being able to beat the big teams. I've seen some guy on Twitter. I'm back on Twitter, by the way. Not being able to beat the big teams or whatever, not being able to win. Look, let's focus on this season so far. And so far, we are undefeated. And yes, we've gotten draws against what you would call big teams. City, of course, Chelsea, Arsenal. It wasn't like it was against, relegated teams or teams that we should be beating. So I'm happy about what we're doing, how we're going about doing it. There are certain games where the performances are atrocious and they're frustrating. But by and large, we're doing what we need to be doing to be successful. So this is going to be a short one, guys. That's pretty much all I had to say. We will see you guys sometime between now and the game. Maybe have it on Jams. Maybe have it on Gary for some live talk. Maybe some other guys. We'll see. What do you think about January? You think we need to... I think a lot of that depends on what happens with Sturridge, honestly. And hopefully there's no knocks between now and then. But this whole thing about James Pierce pretty much guaranteeing we're not going to... Look, James Pierce is a guy who you can trust. I mean, he's reliable source if you want it. But come on, you can't say that now because you don't know. Delit, if Matip goes, yeah, Delit looks good. Honestly, a lot of guys, man, have been looking good in some of the games that I've been watching, preferably with the Netherlands squad. The guy Frankie De Jong looks really, really good. Their whole 11, really, for the most part, look, and some of the guys off the bench. So I don't think we need anything, but if we get injuries, obviously, if Sturridge is getting some type of serious suspension, then yes, we will need some reinforcements. But other than that, I'm not a guy that's so eager for Pulisic or Dembele, really. If there's something in place to do it, the money's right, Klopp wants him, he thinks that we could use a player like that. With those two guys, you got to be careful, though, because especially Dembele, as much as I love him, this guy's missing training to play video games. So something's not right there. Something's not right. I think he's getting a bit too much of a bad rap, but I think there's certain things he's in control of, and that you got to grow up. The video games, really, you got to grow up. So I don't know if his mind is even. I mean, he's playing at Barcelona. I don't know if that's really sunk in for him because he does seem to have some immaturity. So, is he going to be okay with not starting every game? I don't know. Is he going to kick up a fuss for that? Is Pulisic going to be okay with that? I don't know. So, anyway, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Much love.